Hello, Guilford residents. It's nice to be with you today. I don't know what the weather is. There might be another snowstorm. Who knows? But I'm Lydia Frugetta Sheffield, president presently of the Guilford Community Fund, and I'm here with two great friends today, and I know we're going to have something interesting to present to you. One of my guests today is Peter Palumbo, who you probably know if you get your oil changed or do anything with your car. And the other person is Ron Rosa, who all of you know from the marketplace. He has a history with Guilford, so don't both of these men have a history with Guilford. Myself, I'm the youngest one here. They've been in town a little longer than I have. But today we want to thank you first. I want to take this opportunity as the president of the Guilford Community Fund, and soon I will be finishing my tenure in 3 months, and it's been a wonderful time being president. But I want to thank you most importantly for your generosity in giving to the annual appeal. I can't tell you what it is that you've helped a neighbor and you've given so well. Now we are going to talk a little bit tonight about money and about our annual appeal, just a tiny bit, because we want to make this year the most successful ever. So we're going to ask you to help us fill the little gap we have. Many of our agencies are facing problems today because many of the grants they might get from state government or other things that they would get, they're not getting. So they're relying on us and our generosity in what we can give them in this annual appeal. So we do this through fundraisers and we do it through our golf tournament. But first I'm going to introduce you to Peter Palumbo. Peter Palumbo this year was our 2017-18. He was our chairperson for our annual appeal. And Peter did a wonderful job and gave a wonderful message. Do you remember part of your message that you gave to our members?
I do. I could tell you a little bit about it. So it's called the Guilford Community Fund, right? And I was on the board a bunch of years back. It was one of the first things I did in the community in Guilford. But what I referenced to in my letter was, instead of calling it the Guilford Community Fund, I think it should be called the Guilford Neighbor Fund. I thought if everybody really took a minute to realize how all the member agencies reach out to so many people in our community, from North Guilford down to Satcham's Head by the water, there has to be some overlap of where your services have been used from any of your organizations that you support. So I think if people look at it that way, and that's how I looked at it, was it's a great group. It's a great group of people. It's a great group of organizations. And so much of it just stays right in our community.
Right, and I'm sure that many of you know that we started, when the Guilford Community Fund started, it started like a neighborhood thing. Some people got together and realized there were people who needed things. And actually, the first appeal was door to door. They went door to door to raise the funds. And I believe that they raised over $3,000 just going door to door. And back then, that was an amazing thing to do. Now today, unfortunately, they need more than $3,000, most groups. But Peter, in being our chairperson for this year, and in reaching out to people, do you have a one little tiny message that in our last lap in May we'll be awarding our funds that you could say to the people?
Yeah, Lydia. I just think if people could realize that any dollar amount that they could give makes such a difference in our community. I mean, do some simple math. If it was $25, if it was $50, I mean, those amounts add up. And I have to say, I'd like to go down in Guilford Community Fund history as having a successful year and being one of your top raised years from my efforts as the honorary chairperson, right? What's better than that?
Go, Peter,
so
go.
Definitely end of the year, maybe a little before tax season is up. I mean, you know.
You never know.
You never know, just a little bit more.
Might have gotten a little present back from the government
Maybe.
that you might want to share with us.
Maybe.
Or maybe that letter, there is another letter coming in the mail thanking you for all that you did for us, and also asking you if you might have some change laying around that you'd like to share with us. We'd be very happy to receive it, because our agencies really do need it. And every time when they ask us for a dollar amount, we never can give them exactly what they need. So we're coming to you, to the Guilford community, We know you're asked by a million people, but the Guilford Community Fund is a special fund. It's neighbor to neighbor, it's people to people. It's been a fund that almost every dollar goes back to the people of Guilford. There is a few expenses for us, but about 99% of what we raise goes right back to the community. So that is what we're doing, and so we're very happy if you can send us in this next envelope, or you can look online and you could maybe remember us. Now, Peter, I'm going to come back to you because I'm going to have you speak about something else, but I want to introduce you to my next guest, who is Ron Rosa. Ron Rosa is a very familiar face in Guilford. Everyone knows Ron behind the meat packing there. And he's such a wonderful guy. And Ron, tell him what you did 25 years ago.
Well, 25 years ago, we started the Guilford Community Fund golf tournament. My father started it. He was looking to raise more money for the community fund so they could cover some of those expenses you just mentioned. And here we are 25 years later, still at it.
Which is great. This year coming up, the fall golf tournament is the 25th year. And so we're going to try to honor your father in a very special way by giving a push. And we started something new that I think Ron would like to talk to you about, and that's sponsorships, really appealing out to the people more so.
Yes, well, we've always had sponsorships, but we're really pushing for more sponsorships, obviously. We want to make this the best year we've ever had. 25 years is quite an accomplishment for any golf tournament or any fundraiser for that matter. And to be able to support the community fund for all these years and be pretty successful, this year we want to be real successful.
Right, and where will we be teeing off?
We will be playing at Madison Country Club.
Oh, lovely.
We've been playing there for probably the last 6 or 7 years, and we found our most success at that club. It's local, it's beautiful, it's right on the water. Most of the course is on the water. We've had good turnouts, and we'd love to sell it out this year.
And when will it be?
It'll be in September again, September 25th. It's a Tuesday afternoon, so well, it starts in the morning, but you can go into work for a couple hours and get out and golf and enjoy the afternoon.
And should they bring some of their friends?
Absolutely. Get a group of guys together, or women, or a combination. We have mixed groups, and come out and golf and have a good day. We have a lunch, we have a dinner.
And do the golfers win anything? Can they win anything?
Oh yeah, we have prizes. There's skill prizes and.
Oh, what can you
lowest
talk about
score?
that?
We have
Lowest score?
longest
That
drive.
would be mine.
We don't give the highest score. We tried that one year, and the guys weren't too happy with that.
Oh, the high. I forget.
We
It's
tried
the
that.
opposite in golf.
You want the lowest.
The highest would be mine.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But we have a lot of fun prizes and a lot of fun activity going on throughout the day.
And do they get food at this?
Absolutely. We have pizza, we have hot dogs and hamburgers all day, we have beverages, we have a nice steak dinner that is sponsored in part by the Marketplace at Guilford Food Center. We've always done the food when we had the store, the Guilford Food Center, and they've been gracious enough to continue on supporting.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So.
Now, do you get women can come?
Absolutely. We have a lot of women that play. Like I said, we have groups that have 4 women. We have groups that have a mix of women and men.
Sounds great.
And we have competitions between the men and the women. Long drive for women, long drive for men. It's a fun day.
It's a really
And this
good
year,
day.
like I said, it's our 25th year, and we're happy to still be doing it, and hopefully we'll be very successful.
We'll have to do something very special with the shirt.
I think we
To make sure
should.
that we know it's the 25th year.
Yes, you also get a,
Because that could become, like how they sell off the celebrities' clothing. If you have a
Hey.
25th Ron Rosa, named after your father.
The Bill
Pete
Rosa Memorial.
Bill Rosa. Then, you have that shirt. You might be able to, you never know, it could become
a collector's
relic.
item. You never know.
A relic, and something
never
you
know.
want to pass on to your child and
That's
say,
right.
this is what I did. A good
right.
memento.
Sure.
Very good. Well, thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
He does a lot for us. Now, coming back to Peter. Peter, I was walking downtown Guilford, and I was going by Cilantro's, and I saw these pictures of these very good-looking people all around, and realized, I looked, and there was Peter Palumbo.
Was it a wanted photo?
No, it was for Guilford Mentoring.
Ah.
It was honoring you for being, and Guilford Mentoring is one of our agencies. Can you tell our audience about Guilford Mentoring?
Yeah. So I've been a Guilford mentor. I've been a Guilford youth mentor for about 13 years now. I've had most every school. I've been in most every school except for, I think, Melissa Jones. And it's kind of unique. You know, you start with a young person. I've had just boys. And you start with a young person in grammar school. You kind of go through the schools with them, change the schools with them, et cetera, et cetera. There's a couple times I've had multiple kids, different schools. It's not good to kind of overlap in the
Right.
school. You wouldn't want your mentee to see that you're with another person. You know, that's a real unique
A bond that you're
yeah,
making with
exactly,
that child.
Exactly. I met some really nice young people who have graduated, gone through college, onto law school, maybe meet for lunch still periodically as they're in their 23, 24, 25-year-old range, you know. And it's really interesting to think that 1 hour a week makes a difference in these kids' lives, but it really does. It's very makes a big impact in their life. So it's the kind of thing that, you know, you go and you're just wondering, what am I doing? And after years of being with them, you really put two and two together later on. So it's a great organization. We have over 110 mentors in Guilford.
Wow. And what exactly does a mentor do? Like, what is, if someone was to volunteer, how much time do you have to give? Like an hour?
1 hour.
And then, so what do you do within that hour?
Trick question. I mean, the mentoring, Lisa Ott, who leads the mentoring department, they have an interview process. They try to match you with people with like interests. So if it's sports, or if it's an academic, if it's a theater, you know, if you have a like interest, and generally in that 1 hour, you try to bond. In that interest. I mean, for me, it was being outside. It was shooting a basketball. It was playing a card game. You know, when the kids were little in grammar school. So it's just a really unique group of
Wow.
people.
Well, Peter, that shared so much with our viewers, and that's one of our agencies. So I'm going to remind you again that the Guilford Community Fund has these two wonderful guys that do so much for our community, and it's a pleasure working with both of them. And we're going to hope that the golf tournament is going to be an absolute tremendous success. Now, going back to Peter, what we're going to hope, Peter, is that we want to get over the top. We want to get to $140,000 this year. And so we're just short about $20,000. So if you, when you get that letter, if you could just consider, right?
Absolutely.
Because Peter doesn't want to have to do a car wash. So if you can do that for us, that would be a great thing. And also, if you're not doing anything on September 29th,
25th.
25th.
Tuesday the 25th.
September, Tuesday, the 25th. It was a trick question. He knew when it was. Then please come and be with us. If you'd like more information, you can go to our website, www.guilfordcommunityfund.org, and you can get some information on our website. And also, you'll be hearing from people, get a group together, come out and golf, tee off, have some fun, so that we can all be together on that wonderful day. And even though I will be retired from the Guilford Community Fund in June,
He'll still be with us, right?
I have offered to Sean that I will be there.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to
Thank
check
you.
to see if you are there. And Peter, I know you lead a very busy life, but even if you could get down and do a little golfing,
All right,
have a little
give
fun.
it a try.
And then Peter might be back on, our new president, Sean Kinnear, might have him back on during the year next year, because he'll be the first guy that went over the top with $140,000 collected for the Guilford Community Fund. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for being with us. It was our pleasure. And gentlemen, have a wonderful,
Thank you.
I don't know if it's day or evening. People tell me they see me at 3 o'clock in the morning. So whatever time of day it is, smile and know that the Guilford Community Fund is for you, neighbor to neighbor. Thank you so much for joining us.